Fred in Chicago. Hey, Fred, thanks for listening to WCPT. What's up?
Not much. How you doing today, Tom?
Say what?
I said, how are you doing today?
Oh, I'm great, but I'll get better, Fred. I hope the same is true of you. What's up?
Oh, not much. I just heard your comment about the libertarian philosophy of just me, me, me. All they care about is me. And I had a problem with that comment, and I just wanted to address that.
Okay.
Well, I think you're completely misunderstanding the libertarian philosophy, and all you have to do is look at this socialist philosophy that caused this housing crisis. You know, we had the law, President Bush signed it, and we had to give everybody a house.
Fred, Fred, stop for a minute. You're horribly, horribly misinformed. There never was a law that said anybody had to give anybody a house. Never.
Well, didn't he sign something for Freddie and Fannie Mae?
No.
To make the requirements lower?
No. The law you're talking about, which Fox News and the Republican propagandists have tried to distort, was the Community Reinvestment Act. And what that law said was that if you were a bank and you had been practicing redlining, which is where you refuse, say you've got a community that's a fairly poor community, it would be a bad credit risk community, a zip code. Typically, it's done by zip code. And that community, and there's one block in that community of pretty decent homes, and there's a guy living in that community who's got a very, very good income and a great credit score. You still, as a bank, because you've redlined that zip code, you still would not loan money into that. And what that does is it prevents communities from becoming middle-class communities, from lifting themselves out of poverty, because a part of the community has started to get better, but the bank won't even loan to the part that's getting better because they've redlined it. The Community Reinvestment Act said to banks, you may not redline an entire community. You can always say no to an individual because their credit score isn't any good, or because they're trying to borrow too much money relative to the value of the house. But you can't do it to an entire community. You can only do it to an individual. Nobody ever said you must write a mortgage. If there was one example of one person in the United States who got a mortgage because the government forced a banker to give it to them, that person would be as famous as Bernie Madoff. The Republicans would have made sure of it that we all knew his name. It'd be just like Willie Horton. Everybody would know his name. What you are reciting, Fred, is a lie.
But
and it's a lie that has nothing to do with socialism or libertarianism. Please give me an example of any time when the philosophy of I've got mine, screw you, which is the essence of libertarian philosophy, when that philosophy actually helped a nation.
But that's 100% false. We founded this country on a libertarian principle.
No, we did not.
Yes, we did.
I encourage you, Fred, to read the articles of read the debates that the founders had before the founding of this country when they were writing the Constitution. James Madison compiled them. They're online. You can read them. These guys had lengthy discussions about the common good. Read the history of the George Washington administration. You know who the first president in the history of the United States was to sign a law using federal tax money to pay for poor houses, for poor people, to feed them and clothe them? George Washington.
Well, I would have to say that was probably a wrong thing for him to do.
Well, George Washington didn't think it was the wrong thing to do. John Adams, who followed him, didn't think it was the wrong thing to do. Thomas Jefferson, who followed him, didn't think it was the wrong thing to do. James Monroe, who followed him, didn't think, or James Madison, who followed him, didn't think it was the wrong thing to do. James Monroe, who followed him, didn't think it was a bad. And every president since then. This country was founded by people who said, we're going to create a community. We're going to create a government that will protect the general welfare of its people. And that's the purpose of it. It's right there in the preamble. Fred, you got to start getting your information from someplace other than Fox News. I'm serious. It's tragic. People thinking like this.